Hello guys, myself Palak Rana and I'm here to help you out in your advanced audit and assurance paper. So guys, for attempting this paper, just let me give you the brief introduction about this paper, what knowledge you need to know for this paper and what is the examination pattern. And then afterwards, we will jump towards one of the very important topic of this paper, which is being tested in section A of the examination, which is known as business risk. So let's resume our today's day. So guys, for triple A, you guys need to have basic understanding of double A, which is audit and assurance F8 paper, and you guys need to have some understanding of F7 level, which is my financial reporting paper, because in this paper you are working in the capacity of an auditor. So being an auditor, you guys must understand what company is doing in its financial statement. So for that sake, you guys need to have the basic understanding of the financial statement, how the IFRS are being treated and how they should be treated. So first thing, and after that, let's discuss the syllabus pattern, how the paper is being tested. Guys, this paper is 100 marks paper, and in this 100 marks paper, which is of 3 hours 15 minutes, and then in this 3 hours 15 minutes paper, you have total 100 marks. Out of this 100 marks, there is a segregation of 18, 20. 20 are my professional marks and 80 are my technical marks. Guys, all the questions are compulsory. Total, there are three questions in this advanced audit and assurance paper. The first question is of 50 mark, which contains some subparts. And the first question contains 10 professional marks, which is section A question. Another section B question comprises of two questions of 25 marks each and covering 5 marks of professional marks in each question. So guys, this was just a little brief about the paper pattern so that you guys know very well that what questions are being tested in the examination and how they are being tested. Now, let's jump toward the topic of business risk, which is most relevant topic of our advanced audit and assurance paper and which is being tested in my 50 marker question. So, guys, before starting, can anyone tell me about business risk or you know about what business risk is exactly? All right, no worries. Um, before giving me introduction about business risk, just let me tell you that for appearing this question, for attempting this question, either you or auditor, when he is doing the audit of a company, he or you have to imagine yourself as the management. You have to put yourself into the shoes of the management so that you can understand the industry very well, that whether that industry, how that industry is operating, in what circumstances that industry might subject to some risks, and in what scenarios my business is not working properly, and in what scenarios there is chances of error in that specific business. So for attempting the question, you have to put yourself into the shoe of management. So, say, like we have a pharma industry question, we have a hotel industry question. So, we have to think ourselves like a management of a pharma industry. We have to think ourselves like a management of a hotel industry and like a legal industry. So, we have to consider ourselves of that specific industry, and in that sense, you are able to perform your question very well. Now, let's discuss what business risk is. See, every business is exposed to some risk, whether it is internally or externally. And due to those risks, if your business is not able to perform well, or it's not able to achieve its objective, or it's that risk can affect the objective of the business in adverse way, or that the strategies are not able to work properly, then that scenario is known as business risk. That means circumstances, any action, whether that can be internal or external, both scenario can arise. Due to this both internal or external, or either internal or external situation, my business is not able to work properly, or there is a threat of going concern, or there might be any scenario due to which my objective, my strategy is not able to perform well. So this is known as business risk. Now, guys, this business risk can affect my financial statement, and due to that, that business risk is related to my risk of material misstatement. Business risk and material misstatement are related. How? Guys, see, let's discuss with some example that can anyone tell me that in what scenarios you can think that your may have some risk? It may be, you can take any business example. See, suppose I am dealing in a pharma. We were talking about the pharma industry, right? So I am dealing in a pharma industry, so that we know that that pharma industry is exposed to various risks, expiration of medicine, right? And there are a lot of rules and regulation in these kind of industries, because population is involved. So whenever in any industry, general public is involved, there are more chances of risk and more chances of regulation. And that's why due to that regulations, there are more restrictions. So, if my business is not able to follow these regulations, if my business is not able to comply with those laws and regulations which were which were given by my regulatory industry, then what will be the consequences? First of all, I will have to pay that penalty, right? Next thing, I might be subject to some goodwill issues, because that might impact my goodwill, and people may not buy products of my company. Next thing, and if I have to pay the penalty, and in serious consequences that might arise, that my industry, my company might go shut down. So all these things comprise of business risk, because with that my business is not able to operate in that standard format, or it's not able to perform very well, and that can impact my profitability, or even the going concern issue can arise. So this is my business risk. Now, all of these situations can also affect my financial statement, because see, if there is a going concern issue, and according to my IFRS, I have to make adjustment in case of a going concern issue arise. I have to show my financial statement on a breakup basis, not on a going concern basis. And if there is a penalty, I have to make provision for that. So in that case, if there is a business risk, I have not done the treatment of these things, then these things can also impact on my financial statement, and my financial statement will be materially misstated. And whenever my financial statement are materially misstated, that means there is a ROMM. So one situation, but they both are interrelated. So guys, business risk and ROMM are interrelated. Now let's take some few more example that in what scenarios business risk can arise. Either it could be the more regulatory industry, like we have discussed, like we are dealing in a foreign exchange transaction, and due to the foreign exchange fluctuation, I might suffer gain or loss, and the treatment is not done, then that can impact my ROMM. And suppose there is a loss of a key managerial person, like I am the key managerial person of a company, I am the director, I am the finance director, I am the purchase department head, right? So if I am not available for 3 to 4 months, there is no one to oversee those aspects which I was dealing, and I am the senior level position person. And if there is no one, that means that operations were not working on a smoothly basis. That is my business risk, right? And the same scenario can affect my ROMM, because if there is no one to oversee these things, there is no one to verify or check that how the transaction are being entered, or whether there is a calculation error or not. And due to that, the financial statement may be materially misstated because the transaction won't be showing the actual position, right? And that situation is my ROM. So same situation, and one situation is business risk and another situation is my ROMM. Now, another example, like see, I am relying on a single supplier, right? So if I'm just purchasing the material from just a single person and with that country, with the supplier, that supplier is in another country, or with that supplier is having a shortage of material, due to that I won't be able to produce my products or whatever product I'm making with the raw material of that supplier. That will be delayed, and or there is chance that he might increase the price of that product and I was relying only on him. So if the prices are increased, the profitability is reduced. So what happen? Business risk, because my business profit will impact. If thus I'm relying on a single supplier, that means the single supplier is see, in some scenario he is not available due to the market condition or the government regulation. There is a fight between both the countries. So in that scenario, disruption arises, right? So with that disruption, my work business working is not on a smooth flow basis, right? And how this situation can impact my ROM? Because I will be doing misappropriation of resources and I will be misrepresenting my financial statement to show my shareholder that everything is working smoothly. And that misrepresentation is my ROM. So each and every business risk can directly and indirectly can impact my ROMM. So where there is a business risk, there is almost probability of ROMM to be arised. Now, next thing, that my business risk can be segregated into the three parts. First one is my operational risk, second is my financial risk, and third one is my compliance risk. Guys, the compliance risk one, we have discussed it already, that suppose if my business is not able to comply with those laws and regulation, and due to those non-compliance, I might be subject to some penalty, I might subject to some goodwill issue, and with that thing, my business is being disrupted, and that is my business risk, risk to me, risk to my business. And all those things can impact my ROMM. Now, operational risk, like suppose my employees are on strikes, right? So if employees are on strike, then business is not working smoothly. And due to that, my financial statement are disrupted. Financial risk. I am not able to obtain the loan, or I am having the shortage of funds, there is a misappropriation of funds. So this is my financial risk, because there is a consequence, serious consequence on my financial operations of business, and all of these can impact my ROM. So this was just the scenario that what business risk is. Now, in what scenarios business risk can arise? The same scenarios can create my ROMM. Business risk can be categorized into three. So then, before planning an audit, if an auditor is going for an audit of a company, he has to he has to understand that company, and he has to understand how the operations are being done in that company, so that he can understand the business very well. When he will be understanding the business, then he can find the risk of material misstatement in that company's financial statement. So he will have to get into the shoes of the management. He will have to get into the shoes of that company. Now let's take an example which was being tested in previous attempts. And see, this was the example of a hospitality chain, and they were having a various their chain of operations on a various location clubs on a various location, and that club was providing various facilities like a bar facility, swimming pool facility. And in that portion, they obtained a permission from the state to sell the alcohol in its club. Now, how the business risk can be tested in this scenario and how the ROMM can be tested in this scenario. See, in the case of business risk, we know that when we are dealing with the industry where there are a lot of people involved, where there are food industry, like in this, the food industry is also related. So when there is a food industry involved, there is a chance that the food product might get expired, or they can be misallocated, because we can't exactly calculate the amount, how much onion is being used to produce that dish. We can't exactly allocate that. So due to that, there is a chances of fraud, more chances of fraud, right? So now this is the business risk, because business is not able to, work smoothly. The same scenario can create ROMM, because if my auditor is not able to detect that fraud, because because of those small things, there is my risk of material misstatement, because that amount, that fraud may become undisclosed in my financial statement, and my financial statement will be showing a materially misstatement. Now, another area in the same question, they have said that the club was being permitted to sell alcohol, right? So, if the alcohol permission is being approved by the government or that state, um, some might get confused that club means whole club, but the scenario says that the permission is approved. So I might serve that alcohol near to tennis room. I might serve the alcohol near to the swimming pool area, right? Due to that, but that was not allowed there. That was only allowed in the bar area, because bar area is specifically made for alcohol. If I did that, due to that, what they can do, government can impose a penalty on me, and if penalty is imposed on me, that can impact my goodwill. So there is a disruption in the business, routine nature disrupt. So business risk, but the same situation, how that same situation can create my risk of material misstatement, because with that business risk situation, I will be not because I have been allocated a penalty, right? So what if I have not made a provision for that penalty, because according to IFRS I have to make provision, and if the penalty is not paid, or if the provision is breached, then the financial statement won't be showing the true picture. So, see, we have seen that from the previous year's example, that the same scenario can be attempted as a business risk question, and the same scenario can be attempted as a ROMM question. So I guess you guys are very much clear that what exactly business risk is. Business risk is a situation in which I am not able, my business is not able to work smoothly, and the business is disrupted due to external or internal factors, and the objective is not able to, I am not able to achieve my objective properly. Business risks, three subcategories, and in what situation business risk can arise. I hope you guys are very much clear, and if in case you guys have any doubt, you guys can contact me. Thank you.